welcome. It's damn, that mic went hot. Welcome to the first Dr. Greenthumb podcast of 2020. Got C minus E-Zone and myself, and we have a special guest coming on. You know, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this, Chach.
Yeah, man, we got to set it off right, man.
Because we could talk amongst each other all the time.
And do we?
And smoke out and, talk shit. But, it's always great to have someone come down. And, now that we're doing these sorts of podcasts, it's awesome, because not everybody, smokes. Not everybody gets into the smoke box or does the other show. So, this is, I think it's kind of, excuse me, I think it's cool that we opened it up like this.
They look at the smoke box like Fear Factor. You know how people used to be scared to go on Fear Factor and shit?
Yeah.
Some people that are, obviously did work in entertainment, I feel like that's how they look at it. They're like, hey, no, I don't want to go hang out with Joe Rogan.
I want to run out of there like Joe Rogan did.
Yeah. And salute to Joe Rogan, by the way. Anyway,
crazy?
Yes, isn't he crazy? We got special guest today, actor Robert Ri'chard. And he's going to join us in just a minute. I mean, when you look at his body of works, he's been in House of Wax, Coach Carter, which, a lot of us in this building have seen, right?
Nickelodeon for all the people that are my age.
That's right. Chocolate City, Bad Dad Rehab, a ton of things. There's television stuff. I mean, he was on the Jamie Foxx show, as E-Zone said, Nickelodeon. Veronica Mars, and the list goes on. We could just keep going because my man works.
It's kind of cool because I seeing watching Nickelodeon and then seeing some of these shows, and at that time and watching it as a kid, and I'm obviously not getting high, and then you see there's this gap of life that goes on, and then I end up in a place like this, and you're like, oh shit. Here we are.
Look where life took you, E-Zone.
Look
where life took you.
Smoke,
Yeah. Oh, he smokes. All right. Let's not delay. Let's bring on our special guest, man, and bring him on.
Yeah.
And salute to everybody watching on YouTube. We understand it's the first one. We're getting kinks out.
What up, y'all? What's going on? What up, y'all?
What's good?
What's up? What's going on, fam?
Man of the hour.
How you doing? What's going on? All right, listen. So, I don't go nowhere in life without bringing something.
All right. We can appreciate that.
Right? Just like, you know what I mean?
We should even pop that right now, right?
Right? And just say like, hey, listen.
Hydro, help us out.
What's going on, Hydro? There you go.
Hey, man, thank you. That's awesome, man.
Awesome. We gotta pop it.
We're gonna pop it. He's gonna go get some some cups.
It's not too many guests that come with something up their sleeve, and that's dope, man.
No, my father taught me, it's like, listen, you don't go to anybody's home, you don't bring that. You know what I'm saying? If it's like a woman, bring some flowers. If it's a guy, bring something, alcohol or something. You know what I'm saying? You have some respect.
You saying that, like when you say my father, I just think Samuel L. Jackson. Like when you say that, I'm just like, oh man, just because of the movies, man.
So, perfect segue. So, today ESPN posted it's the 15-year anniversary from the drop of Coach Carter.
Wow.
They posted it this morning.
Hey, congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Because that is a movie that transcends time. You could watch that shit right now.
Yeah, sure.
And it means something no matter when you watch it. I mean, that's the power of a movie like that.
It'll inspire you no matter what you're doing. Like, even if you're just a writer or something, it'll just be like, oh man, you know what?
And that was based off a true story.
Based off a true story. And what happened was, this guy, the story's really about Coach Carter, right? But I met this dude in a backyard in the valley. And he was like, yo, man, you remind me of my son. I'm going to get you to play my son in my movie. I'm like, what movie is that? He's like, oh, I ain't written yet. It ain't out yet. It ain't put together yet. But I'm going to get either Denzel Washington or Sam Jackson to play me. And you play my son. He called me 3 years later, bro.
Now, that's some crazy shit. Because, he
far-fetched.
manifested exactly what he told you. And that's,
but he hit me up with the okie doke though, right? Because he was like, gonna be in my movie, right? So, hey, can I get a ride to West Covina? It's Saturday. So I gave him a ride, and we went and had lunch, and that's how I got my number. And then 3 years later, he called me, and he's like, yo, Sam Jackson's playing me, and you're gonna play my son.
He said, remember that thing? Remember that?
You know what I'm saying? So karma's like, it comes full circle.
Did that trip you out? Did you think he would get it done?
You know what's funny is that certain people have that energy of like, it don't matter how many times you're going to tell me no.
Right.
It ain't about you telling me no. Just that you can't outlast my, you know what I'm saying, like my ambition for. So he just type of person just knock on doors, knock on doors,
Right.
knock on doors. He told me the story how the movie got made. Unbelievable. He walks into William Morris, looks on the directory board, sees somebody's name, gets in the elevator with somebody who got in, walked to the president's office and just went in his office and just closed the door. So sit down and tell you the story.
I mean, when somebody tells you something like the way you describe it, that he told you in a backyard, you know what I mean? That's a trip.
We got to switch mics real quick.
Test 1, 2, 3.
I think it's the cable.
It's the cable.
Okay.
Uh,
Is it because I'm on it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just swap mics real quick. Can you swap mics with them, Steve? Appreciate it. Sorry about
But you caught everything he was saying still? You picked it up?
that.
yeah, these mics will pick it up.
Okay.
If you do an ADR section, let me know.
Yeah, man. I mean when you watch the story in itself, it's a fucking dope story. But to hear that, like that even had a story, like how he sold it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy too is like there's like a director's cut on everything, right? So Coach Carter, the real movie, is 4.5 hours long.
God damn.
Damn.
Yeah, but they were like, yo, we
like
can't
Pearl
have a
Harbor.
4.5 hour movie straight up. Like, so they just kept cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. And I think they got it down to like 2 minutes and 2 hours and 6 minutes. So that's what's left. But there's like it's a much fuller movie. I wish they had like a Coach Carter director's cut. If they have like a 2020 version,
Yeah.
that'd be hot to do that.
When you were playing dude's son, did you actually meet his son and have conversations with him?
Yeah, so I'm real close to Damien. He's like a lot like me, like the way that we were raised. Like my dad's military, so you know how that goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he was a suit and tie kid in high school, which is what I was too. I will always wear like a shirt and tie.
That's just like a military dad thing, huh? They just get you.
Yeah,
out.
just certain times, like when you're building like your son's life, you're like, listen, you're a young man, but I don't want you to have like an unnecessary confrontation with somebody because someone thinks you're not a person of like society. You're a person who's like investing into, what the whole social construct is. And so from a book by its cover standpoint, that's like the shirt and tie look. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So he was that dude, and we had a lot in common actually. And he was telling me how like when he was at that school, a lot of kids didn't identify with him. And so
Yeah, because he came from a structured type of situation, being with his father in the military background.
exactly, so he was like, I had to fucking kill it on the basketball court. So at that high school, he holds all the records, most points.
He had to be extra.
He had to be extra. Like, yo, man, see me on the court, I'll fuck you up. You know what I mean? So
Felt like he had
that's kind of
something
how I approached it when I was making the movie. I didn't really stay with the cast members as much, just because that energy became real of like feeling a little bit like an outsider. And like I know Antoine Tanner for forever because we did like 4 basketball movies together. Shout out to Antoine Tanner. Second best basketball movie is Sunset Park. But yeah, and then we were on the movie for 6 months. And
Yeah, they had a whole lot of story to tell. I mean, if they cut it down from 4 hours to what, it was like 2.5.
Yeah,
something like
2
that?
hours and 6 minutes, so like 2 hours. So just cut it in half, basically.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Salute.
And welcome to the first one
absolutely.
in the year.
Cheers, man.
That was your second film or your first one?
So wait. So we on your show.
Right.
Everybody smoke. Right. But I brought alcohol and he didn't drink, so he don't drink.
Right, he doesn't drink yet.
Okay, so then that's where we are right
the
now.
balance.
That's the balance.
Yeah.
That's the balance. We got a little bit of overlap. We got smoke, drink. We're all good.
Balance is always good.
Yeah.
That was your first film or second film?
I did Light It Up with Usher, Forrest Whitaker, and Vanessa Williams, and
title-
Rosario Dawson too.
That title is so deceiving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, from a stoner's point of view, when you look at the list, like if you're searching on Netflix or it comes out like Light It Up, I was like, oh yeah, stoner movie. And you're like Usher, like
Yeah, right. It's like Usher.
Different.
Well, what was that first movie like for you? Because I mean that's the first experience, and then you got names like Usher and Forrest Whitaker.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So I kind of I had like a sports mentality growing up. I grew up in LA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from Kershaw, and like there was gangbanging and there was sports, and that was it. Especially in the '90s.
Right.
So when I went into all my movies, I was like, I need to destroy my cast members on set. like out of love, but like be on set and just be fierce, know all my lines,
Friendly
be
competition.
friendly competition. So like I knew that I had scenes with like, Forrest Whitaker, who's like an Academy Award winning actor. I'm like, this is where I'm gonna make my mark. I'm gonna hold my own on screen with Forrest. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna eat Usher alive. You know what I mean? Because he's an entertainer. He's like,
he was new. That was like his first film.
Yeah, well, if I was on stage with him, he would outdance me.
Right.
So if he's on my stage, like I'm just gonna eat you for breakfast. And we lived in the same building. So the whole cast lived in Chicago in the same building. And Ush was like, really into fitness and stuff. So he would always be like, let's go to the gym. We'd go play basketball. I'm 15 years old. I was whooping his ass every single day.
Usher thought he could ball you up.
I'm like, bro, you from Tennessee, bro. I'm from California. You never fucking ball me up. So,
oh man,
I mean, everybody on Crenshaw plays ball, man. Like,
Everybody
I
does.
live.
I mean,
Yes.
it's like you said. It was like you said, and especially in that time, you were either playing sports, and most kids was playing basketball,
right?
Either basketball or football.
Football,
Mostly basketball.
Yep.
Or you were banging, or if you were one of those out of the box kids, you were doing the b-boy shit, popping or locking, popping or breaking.
Yep, absolutely. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
But yeah, I mean,
Then you're right. You said, "Oh man, he's from Tennessee." I was like, "It's different growing up and playing street ball at Crenshaw. Like you had to have a certain balance of like you didn't just want to know why that's on the court.
You want to know why that's different, and he could even speak to this for sure because I mean he was balling. Some of those kids are gangbangers.
They are,
with baller skills.
Absolutely.
Just like there's
and they'll be up in your they'll be all up in it, talking shit to you the whole game and ready to fight right after the game.
Yeah.
For some bullshit.
Or in the middle of it.
Straight up.
Fights break out and shit.
Oh hell yeah.
And like at that time, living in Southern California in the 90s, like the police were scared, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like the gangsters ran the streets in LA at that time.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? It was like if you were hoop was kind of like your way of being like I can still be a part of the culture and not be directly in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, he's a baller, he's a hooper. Like, give him a pass, whatever, like that. But rest of America, I'm like, there's no way you're outballing anyone for like, even in New York, I'll go to Rucker and just be talking shit.
That's a whole different style out there. But yeah, I mean, if you ball in like those areas in LA, or you balled in these specific schools, like Fairfax, Crenshaw.
Yep. My mom went to Fairfax.
Morningside and all those, man. You balled in some crazy areas, and some of those kids that were on that teams were, having extracurricular activities.
Absolutely.
In the streets,
And then the one thing I think that was kind of iconic, like in Los Angeles at that time, was all the basketball courts had chain nets.
Chain nets, yeah.
So people couldn't cut them down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I would go to other cities and they didn't have chain nets, and I was like, "Oh, y'all niggas,
man,
y'all ain't hard."
How many kids cut their fingers on those chain nets, man?
Yep, all the time. I would get my cuts all up and down, like my, you know what I'm saying, trying to dunk or pull the net, or
and they would be rusty too because they wouldn't change them in the hood. You know what I mean? So the rainfall and all that shit, it'd just be right there.
Nasty shit.
Yeah.
But to that first film, was there a lot of pressure on you, or you were just having fun? Like you said, with the competitive, nature.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna outact these motherfuckers.
I mean, I was all about that, and it was a little bit of like an identity shift for me because when I got there the first day, they like glued dreads in my hair. So for like
he's gonna try that tomorrow.
No, yeah. So they had like this wig because my character's name's Ziggy, and he's like after Ziggy Marley, or you know what I'm saying, he's like a Bob Marley artist type, like Basquiat was like his inspiration and stuff.
Right.
And they were like, okay, you too pretty, so let's put some dreads in your hair and like, gruff you up a little bit.
Doctor you up a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly. So I'm living in Chicago in the 90s where Cabrini Greens was still there.
And it's crazy out there.
You already know. My next door's neighbor name was Eat 'em Up.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Right? So I had like a little bit of an identity shift because it was like I wasn't in LA and I wasn't like the cute handsome dude who could like, talk to girls like, dread it up. So that actually helped me in like the manifestation of that character. So, I had a great time. But I was also on set with Rosario, who's fine as fuck. So shout out to Rosario Dawson.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta put it out there, man.
Sometimes you gotta.
I was gonna ask you back to Coach Carter, like after that movie, like did you like see like a like get to meet a lot of basketball players? You know what I mean? Because I imagine like people will come up to you like, you know, because I imagine a lot of basketball players watch that movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like they ever run into you like, oh shit, what up?
I got the best story ever, bro.
Please.
All
tell.
right, listen. So, I had done a bunch of sports movies. I did this movie for Nickelodeon called 4 Points, and randomly,
I saw that.
Shaquille O'Neal was like the producer and like the host of the show, right? So I was cool with Shaq. He always invited me to come to the Forum, to come watch the Lakers play, bro. One time I go to the Forum, I'm walking in the tunnel, going back to see Shaq in the locker room, and fucking Michael Jordan is walking toward me.
Damn.
Michael Jordan. Right before I can say anything, MJ says, "Oh shit, the dude from Cousin Skeeter. Hey, can I get a photo with you? Can I get a photo with you?"
Because his kids was watching that.
Exactly. So I'm in the tunnel with the Forum, and Michael Jordan has his camera out, has his arm around me, and he's like, takes a photo of me. Bro,
That's crazy.
years later, I'm doing a movie with Lou Gossett Jr. in Toronto, and like everyone was in Toronto, like in the late '90s. It was like they were making like X-Men movies.
Right.
Jamie Foxx is up there. It was like 150 movies.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm at the Raptors game. Wayne Gretzky's there. Reggie Miller, Isaiah Thomas, Vince Carter, T-Mac. We're all at dinner together, and Reggie Miller looks at me and goes, "Man, I saw your picture on top of Michael Jordan's television at his house."
Wow.
Damn.
I'm like, I've done the right projects.
Damn, man.
Salute to that.
That's killer.
So,
That is a dope story, man.
so like when Coach Carter came out, it was like I felt like I already had a big athlete community that was already like, you know, Rob,
embraced
yeah,
you.
embraced me. So that was like another like, okay, Rob's doing another sports movie, you know. So, but
What about like anything like from left field, like that you didn't see people like being a fan of you? Like I'm like with somebody like Marilyn Manson comes up to you, hey man, I fucking love that. You know what I mean? Like is what has been the most like crazy experience that you've like? Oh man, I didn't know. I
I think
this person
Michael
like
Jordan
me.
is pretty.
that's a
fucking
great one
I
too.
mean, but that's like you know, athletes watch
Yeah.
basketball movies.
I'm gonna tell you probably the best one though. The best one. I'm in Vegas, and I'm like walking through the casino, and like 30 kids just run up and just tackle me, and they're like, "Watch this." They all knew all the words to the Coach Carter movie, and they were just like saying all the dialogue, all the lines. And I was like, and you know, obviously I'm impressed with that because like, so whenever we want to go in the den and go get into trouble and, you know what I'm saying, have a good time, we say, let's go watch Coach Carter. Like that was a code word for
Right.
for their crew. Let's go watch Coach Carter. So that was like, to me, I was like, okay, that's like, and it was like some Connecticut kids, you know what I mean? Like their dad was a governor. It was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it reached that far. It's like from Oakland to like governor's kid in Connecticut. Like that's how far that movie had reached and touched so many different people. So that's probably the most iconic.
What for you? What's the most challenging part of being an actor?
I'm gonna tell you this and I'm gonna be honest. So, you know, like education was big in California at that time. Like they were really pushing education on us as like a way to get out of our situations.
Right.
So like I went to Johns Hopkins for engineering. And like my dad's military and I played sports. I don't know how I got to act. I mean, I'll tell you the story how I got to acting. But I think it's sometimes hard that like I might not all the way identify with the artists and my direct on stage artists because I didn't come from where they came from. That wasn't like my ambition or like where I was trying to be like an engineer or something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's a little bit hard to like get on the same page with them.
connection.
Yeah, the connection. Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing.
The chemistry.
Yeah.
Because chemistry is crazy because sometimes you have it right off the bat with people and it's just like, you know, there's no mistaking it. And then there's others you got to build that chemistry with. Right?
And I'll tell you this, and I'm just being honest with you guys because I'm with you guys. So I'm cool with crews. We go on a set and it's like 1,800 crew members. Oh, we playing cards at lunchtime,
Right.
hooping, bringing them like drinks or whatever because it's like my people. We all working together. But when I see like the actors who don't associate with the crew, that's when I'm like, I don't really fuck with that. You know what I'm saying?
Different energy, right?
No, but I don't really like. I'm like, you see me every single day and you say hi to me because I'm a cast member. But if I was a janitor, you wouldn't say hi to me every day. Then I don't really fuck with you like that.
Right.
Some real shit though, man.
And you must see that a lot. I mean, because in the acting world,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, even in music, there's motherfuckers like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, where are you from?
Hey, you know, I'll tell you how we get it, right? In the musician field, in the when you're doing a show, right? let's just say you might be co-headlining, right? Because there's the co-headliner and the headliner.
Right.
The headliner, of a festival, let's say, right? Some of them will clear the whole fucking stage. They don't care what band has been on or whatever. They don't care who you are. They will clear the whole stage front to back so that there is nobody back there because that's the way they want it. And you could have hung out with them right before the show as close as this. But
That's
they will
right.
fucking lock down the stage so that, they don't want anyone up there. And I would imagine, and it's prevalent in both our worlds. I've seen it many times.
The makeup room. You know what I'm saying? Like in our business, it's the same thing. Like the backstage is like the makeup room, and they'll be like, "Oh, so and so's in there. You can't go in the makeup room." I'm like, "Why? What the fuck are they doing in there?" You know what I
I
mean?
was just there.
They don't want you to see how the magic is made, bro.
Yeah. But there's a whole thing about that though. It's like it can be a little bit of like manipulations to make them seem more important.
Right.
Some people do stuff like that because it works.
Yeah.
I'm saying the whole diva thing, then people see you as a diva and they treat you as that.
That's
so
like 48 laws of power type
yeah,
shit.
that's exactly what Robert Greene. That's exactly what I was
Right?
talking about. Yep.
Yeah, because people sometimes feel they need to get a psychological edge on shit, with people or in situations.
Right.
So they pull the diva move, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. But like the thing about it is like even with you, like you're from here. So
Right.
you've seen it all. So you're like, bro, don't hit me with that sideways bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like that sedity crap. Like, because I'll take these glasses off, look you eye to eye, and be the same man that I need to be, who's the same man to go out and rock a stage and kill it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you set records, bro. Huge records. You know what I'm saying?
Try.
No, seriously, man. You up in the rafters, bro. So, but I don't think there's ever been a time where you've never not been the same person that all your friends know when you grew up. You know what I'm saying? And that's like legit, dude. That's what makes you a legend.
In who you are, and knowing who you are, right?
Right. Yeah.
You think a lot of people get lost in who they think they are, because I know that happens in music, right? Woo! You think you're this, and you're not really that, but people have bought into this shit, so maybe you have to
Not remaining authentic.
right.
Well, what I think about it is this.
But what my point was is that like some actors I know sometimes get caught up in the roles they are.
Yeah,
And it's hard to snap out of it.
Yeah, it's true. So I think there's two parts of that. So one, I think that being from LA, like you could find my mom or my dad.
Right.
Like I have to be somewhat like, you know what I'm saying, like a sound dude because someone could tell on me and it get back to my dad. But if you come from some other city and no one know where your parents is at, you can act out. You could be you could flip your whole shit up.
Wild out.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what happens is people like sometimes come here and then get like reset and like make a new identity, right? And then also to go back to the acting thing, people get into their roles and it's a craft, so it takes that craziness to really, you know what I'm saying? But like Van Gogh cut his ear off.
Right.
To me, it's the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to saturate the who you're trying to become for that part, right?
Absolutely.
And become it.
Become it. So I was doing CSI. I was playing like this dude who was having an affair with this woman and get caught for the murder and like thrown in jail. So during that whole time that I was shooting that, I would sleep on the marble floor of my house, no pillow, like no sheets. Like cold,
just totally living that shit.
Just living it.
Damn,
and when I was going to work every day, all that physical like stress and like knots in my neck, all that stuff was coming through on camera. And it's like, yo, this Rob really transformed. He became someone who I would see in jail and be like, yo, he would kill somebody. And that was, you know what I mean? And that's just the work.
It's finding those little nuances to make it seem real. Like
yep.
It's that shit. Because not everybody does shit like that, but you could tell in the work.
We all love Michael Jackson.
Right.
Like, he's up there in his own world. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The guitar's going and he's going nuts, man.
It's lost in who he is, right?
Right.
And you got to get lost in the role.
And the same thing with artistry. Like, do you know how much life you had to live to write that Led Zeppelin lyric to be a rock and not to roll? Bro, that's some real shit, bro. Like, that should give you goose numbers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, you had to live that to write that.
Yeah, for sure.
That was, you know what? That you bring that up. That is one of the most awesome lines anyone's ever wrote.
Yeah.
to be a rock and not to roll. I mean, it's pretty
That's
fucking deep when you think about it.
Yeah, man.
And we're high as fuck.
Is there a role that
We're, sipping a little,
is there a role that you've ever turned down that you're like, I'm not doing that?
Yes, and I fucked up too. All right. So get a phone call. Someone's like, "Hey, we're making this Steppin' movie." I'm like, "Steppin'?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah,
I
Steppin'."
remember that one.
And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm a real actor. I'm not doing a Steppin' movie." And it was Stomp the Yard.
Yeah, it was with
Right in my lap.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one that I lost.
Neo was in that, or Chris
Neo,
Brown?
Chris Brown,
Yeah, man.
Megan
Yeah.
Good. We already done
Good.
and she would have played my girl. Oh man, I'm an idiot.
Who's been your favorite, opposite?
Girl,
Yeah.
damn. Coach, probably have to go with Megan. Megan and I were close. Megan's great. Kyla and I are great on one-on-one. I love all my girls that I've worked with.
They make it easy.
Yeah, for sure, man. They're beautiful. I got a new girl that I'm falling in love with on camera. Her name's Krista Allen, and she played Jennifer Garner in 13 Turning 30. She played like the younger version,
All right.
but now she's a woman. She's,
Right.
she's so gorgeous. And the story is true story. Woman moves from Milwaukee, comes to LA, like in her Beamer, and like goes down to South Central and starts working like for like a community activism place, and falls in love with the head of Hoover Crip.
That's fucking random.
Real fucking story. So white girl, Jewish girl in the hood with like J. Hoover of Hoover Crip.
Wow.
And so they cast a movie and they cast Nipsey to play it.
Hmm.
And then what happened to Nips happened to Nips.
Rest in peace.
And we all know those neighborhoods, and we've been in those neighborhoods, and like Nipsey's store Marathon is right next to my cousin's barbecue pit, Woody's Barbecue, right next door. I've been on that block 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's been
I
there
go there
forever.
sometimes.
Forever, yes. So Jacques Ri'chard is my cousin, and that's his barbecue pit. So, like, God, thank you. They call me after the Nipsey thing happens and says we want to bring Rob in to talk about the role. And I went in, and all the producers are like, they're from the hood. They're from that set. So they interviewed me, and then I was like, let's do it. And then now I'm doing this movie called California Love. And, God's a funny God that works in mysterious ways.
Indeed.
If the Lakers play Milwaukee Bucks for the championship this year, that's where the two characters are from.
You just said it.
Damn.
Just like that.
You just said it. Just
Right.
like that.
In
Watch.
in
It's gonna
theaters.
happen.
In theaters in
This
June.
is happening.
California Love. In theaters June. So yeah.
Do you think that's going to be the championship this year?
Yeah. Giannis
They're
against
fucking
LeBron.
looking
Bucks and
good.
the
Both
Lakers.
teams on a whole other level.
Lakers win the championship for sure this year, though. We get a parade.
I get you.
Absolutely. I'm so disappointed. So we had Dodgers went to the World Series twice.
Yeah, that was
Get
double.
teased, bro.
Double the hurt.
Rams went to the
Let me ask
Super
you.
Bowl.
Okay, hold up. You
Sports.
said it right, and I've had conversations with my homies here. Would you get rid of Kershaw?
No.
This is why I ask. And two,
I know.
he's giving it up. You know what I mean? Through the regular season, the man is
The
the
man.
ace.
Right. Clutch Gene.
But when you get to the big game, he's Eddie Jones. And you know who Eddie Jones
Yes,
is.
for sure. Absolutely.
You know, I know you know
So-
who Eddie
yeah.
Jones is. I know.
So here's my thing. I put it on the coach.
Okay. That's fair.
That one game he didn't start Kershaw because he was saving him. He should have put his best dude out there. The first series when they lost that last game, he put somebody else out there for the first two innings and they went up 2-0 on us.
Right.
Put in Kershaw. And as a game manager, as a coach, that's your chessboard. You gotta know what moves to play.
Right.
And you gotta be knowing where people's health are and where they are psychologically to get them to perform and what to say to them. You know what I'm saying? Like right before they go out to light that fire and put that gasoline on it. So I think it's on the coach, man.
I think part of it is on the coach for sure, because I mean, you know, a lot of people question some of the moves he made in both those series, right?
The thing with the Marshawn Lynch thing when he Seattle Seahawks when they lost to the Patriots, Pete Carroll called the wrong play. Nobody get mad at Russell Wilson for getting picked.
Right.
It was
Called the wrong play.
You're on a 2-yard line with 4 downs. You're the best running back ever. You just feed the ball to Marshawn Lynch and just tell him get through the line.
Punch it.
Punch it.
You know, after hearing you talk like about this shit right here, I feel like you throw an epic Super Bowl party.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, see, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like, yo, this
first
is
of all,
cracks in your house.
first of all, I did throw an epic Super Bowl party. It's a lingerie bowl.
Oh shit.
All
So
right.
you do is get the whole house decked out in football turf with the white lines, and then just sprinkle the red rose petals all over it.
Okay.
And then you have like the stripper poles and whatever and whatnot.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have a lingerie bowl.
There you
That-
go.
So you know what I'm saying?
I guessed right. I guessed right. I was like, yo, man, it sounds like
There
it'd
you
be
go.
an epic
Lingerie
ass-
bowl 2020.
What are the food that you serve
Yeah.
in this
What's the menu
lingerie
consist
bowl?
of?
Wings for sure.
right. Whatever.
He's like,
buns.
Alright, yeah.
nobody watches the game.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's watching. They're just waiting for the last. What was the score? All right,
Yeah.
Just laser beams and fog machines and it's going around the pole. That's
for
great.
real. Oh man.
Okay, so who's the best female guest that's been on this show?
On this show, well, this podcast, this is the first one.
Yep,
so
yep,
this
yep.
is the first one. But if we're talking about
Like what female have you interviewed and you're like, she was like the best.
Melissa Etheridge.
She's dope, right?
Yeah, she did our smoke box. What was it? Maybe a year or two
She
back.
got fucked up. She could hang though. She
got
could
hung.
hang though.
She's probably a gangster, that's right.
Yeah, and it was crazy how it went down because we share the same manager.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yep.
And but I never thought I would hear, from Melissa Etheridge because it's a whole different, aspect of music, right?
Right.
And I don't know that she knows about Cypress Hill or any
She
of that,
do.
right?
She do.
But she did, right?
Right.
So she hit up our manager that we have in common and said, "Hey, I've seen B Real's Smoke Box. I want to come and tell my story for the first time in the Smoke Box."
That's gangster.
And she came in and told her story about how she beat cancer and how cannabis was like one of the things that
Amen.
David Crosby from Crosby, Stills and Nash, pretty much told her, hey, listen, instead of using the pharmaceuticals, use the cannabis and the CBDs and all that stuff.
Amen.
And, I think that'll be better for you. And sure enough, this is what she did. She started smoking cannabis and she started using the CBDs, for the therapy, for the radiation or whatever she was going through on her, that she had to deal with. And she came and told her story how that helped her bounce back. And now she owns a cannabis dispensary, and she's big advocate for legalization and medical cannabis and all that stuff. So that to me, I've had Wiz, Snoop, and all the guys that we should have in the smoke box, but that story was a dope one, and so I would say her.
That's dope. Yeah.
She was good, and no one expected her to come out and say that she smoked weed, and why? Because she's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Right? In the music world.
Yeah,
she's
sure.
a legend and all that stuff.
HOF.
Rock goddess, as they like to call them, right?
Yep.
Indeed.
So, I just did not know that we were on her radar. Otherwise, I would have asked her, I would have said, hey, why don't you come and tell your story? But no, she fucking beat me to the punch and said, I want to tell my story, but on your shit.
That's
I'm like,
great.
That's cool.
All right.
That's
I'll
great.
do it.
I saw you nod your head about, when he was talking about the medicinal, benefits out of it. And then I see you bust out a lot of bottles out here.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
what do you
Absolutely.
got?
Is that all CBD, or you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. So, lost my grandmother to cancer. And
Sorry to hear that.
No, and she's in a better place. Oh, that was my ace too. Oh, my grandmother was a shit, bro. She ran LA, bro. She was like, she started off as like a grocery bag lady at Ralph's, and worked her way up and had 3 businesses and bought property and knew everybody. And she was just like call out the most random people. I remember we were at some party and she was like, Dion, Dion, get your butt over here. She like grabbed Dion, said it by the ear, and was like talking to him about football. I'm like, my grandmother's a gangster. But yeah, I watched what chemo did to her, and it just destroyed her, man. It's just like this is napalm, whatever. And knowing that what we have from the earth is so powerful and so potent and like, no side effects. You know what I mean? It's like I'm really, really about health and about people. I think that like people need to be looking to that for real healing and remedy as opposed to the shit that they have
Organic.
that's in a bottle. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I came across this company EPM. If you're online, you can go to www.epmproducts.com. That's epmproductx.com. EPM products. Same on all the socials. But I came across as a customer, and I was down at Orange County at some MMA gym, hanging out with my boys, and fucked my leg up. And I called my doctor, and he's like, "Oh, your shit's super swollen. You're gonna need medication, like whatever." And this lady, she came across. She was like, "Yo, this is stuff called Reborn. This shit's fountain of youth in a bottle." She put that on my leg and massaging my leg for about 10 minutes. I could not believe the next morning I could walk. I was like, oh. And then
healing properties are...
exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I bought a bottle from her, and then I went to the dentist, a week later or something like that, and they were like, oh, you got a messed up tooth. They took a chisel with a hammer and just knocked my whole tooth out. It was like, here's a prescription for 3 weeks of hydrocodone.
Oh, man.
And I was like...
Fuck that.
That's what they do to everybody.
Here you go. Take 2 of these. Call me in the morning, right? But don't call me, right? So I tried this same Reborn stuff, and I was like, what if I tried this and I took a little bit like a thumbprint and just put it on my jaw on the outside, and then put a little bit inside my jaw and massage it in, and my swelling went all the way down, and then I had no more inflammation. I put it on 3 times in like 36 hours, and then I was done from them knocking my tooth out. Never had any pain. Yeah. So I was like, oh, it's real.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, a lot of people say that it's great for inflammation.
Oh, it's the best.
And I could say, it's the truth because, I would use not this particular brand, but I've used some products like this, and for sure it works, man. And that's why you see more people, open up and give testimony about how that really works.
Yeah, when something works for you, like especially like, and you see it like specifically for whatever reason you use it for, you're gonna get convinced. Like I use CBD to like stop inflammation in workouts.
Right.
And that shit works.
This thing is EPM. It stands for Elite Performance Medicine. And we say better science, better medicine is a slogan. But smell it, bro. It's just amazing. So it's applied topically, and that stuff, it prevents injury, stimulates performance, manages discomfort, it repairs damage, it restores youth.
Feels like nice earth.
Oh, it's all earth. It's all earth. That's what we say. It's all earth. You know what I'm saying? Restores youth, combats limitations, and enhances excellence. And it smells amazing.
They say that, they've used the word essential oils for other things. That's the most essential.
Yeah, it is, for sure. It absolutely is. And then what happened was, the vision for EPM is to transform suffering for all. And there's a lot of people in the world who come from different levels of scrutiny and what they can tolerate and whatnot. So we started formulating other products. This one's for skin. It's like a
topical.
Yeah, it's beauty rest in the bottle. So if you have psoriasis, eczema, like sunspots, age spots, wrinkles, fine lines, like any kind of like surface imbalance, you just take a little bit of this, couple drops of this, put it on your face or any area of focus. And like I have psoriasis, and my stuff just completely cleared up from using this allure stuff. Yeah. And then and
they try to give you pharmaceuticals to treat this, right?
All the time, man. They have all the founders thing was no matter what they tell you to get, you turn the label backwards and it says active ingredients, and they say a bunch of inactive ingredients.
Right.
She's like, why the fuck would you ever make a product with inactive ingredients?
Yeah, it's like, let's take up space.
Yeah, right. Just stretching it, right? Just stretching it.
They got to put something on the bottle.
But that's where they give you the disclaimer when you see the commercials at night, and they're like, okay, might cause like heart attack, might cause like hemorrhoids. They give you all that disclaimer. It's from the inactive ingredients.
You know what it is because most of that shit is made to suppress, not to cure. This stuff cures, it doesn't just suppress.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So then she created this one, Flight for Athletes, and that one's cleared for military, for Olympics. It's like if you're a federal employee, if you are a firefighter, any of that stuff, aviator, work with the Air Force.
Like no need to stress.
And that's the shit, because most of those people are afraid to use it because they think they might test dirty in there, and they have some of the most you know.
PTSD, pain, all this different stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
that's great. That it's transformed to even that they've taken every element out that could potentially lose your big fucking gig.
your check. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Right.
Make
Fuck
you
with your
test
money.
dirty.
No one wants to lose a bag.
No one does. Exactly.
You know.
And then this one right here is for like, it's for stress and anxiety, but it was made for mothers and babies. So this is prenatal safe. It's good for moms.
I
It's
know a
good
couple
for babies.
motherfuckers that need that.
There you go. It's called Calm. It's great. It's great. So yeah, so this is, EPM products and Transform Suffering for All. So I wore a shirt today.
I know, man. I was like, it's something about the CBD like wave or company that's just like they go with the color green. It's like the ideal color. Like I
It's
went to
the
the
green
CBD
rush, man.
convention and it's just like it's like a CBD uniform. Now I was gonna ask you different from CBD. Like you're not smoking here, but like when's the first time you smoked or you ever smoked?
Yeah, so obviously, like, I'm from California, so I've definitely
I was like, on
smoked.
Crenshaw, I know you smoke, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, but it was late in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I was managing who my audience was too, and I'm on a kids show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's about sports too.
Kids and sports, and not only that, we all know the stories of the young actors who didn't make it over the hump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
A lot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
This list is extensive list. So I wanted to be an example for my community that like you could be a good person and do right and make it over the hump and make it out and then still come back. So I come back to my neighborhood and talk to schools. I talk to Crenshaw, I talk to Audubon, I talk to Palm. I talk to all my schools that I went to. And I travel on the road and talk to middle schools, high schools, and universities. And it's so funny because I go and talk to these schools and the faculty would tell me like, oh, they're not going to listen to you. These kids are bad. I'm like, oh, they're not going to listen to you because you're not listening to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like I remember what it was like being a young person. And so I went to this school and they were like, our kids are always on their phone and they'll curse at you and they'll just get out of class and just walk out in the middle of class. And like, you're not going to. I was booked for 1 hour. I was there for 3.5 hours with those kids. They never moved. They never picked up their cell phone. They was talking. We were having a good time. We put some TikToks on. And we were talking about real life stuff. And they know that I'm talking to them because I care about them and I want to be of service to them. I tell these people at these universities, all these like professors and stuff, I'm like, you're not supposed to be the authoritative person in these kids' life. They don't want that.
Yeah.
Be of service to them and like enrich them. That's what they want. Help them figure out how to take what they're passionate about and turn it into a business so they can turn it into money. You know what I'm saying? That's your job.
Yeah, they're there to learn something from you.
It's like understand, not dictate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. So so that's why I think it was later in my life that I came to, know and love like, this green plant that God gave us. But I'm not functional.
Hey, but that's half the battle when you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because we train here. For
Yeah, I
that,
know. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, you guys,
Throughout the whole time, I'm like, I need more,
yeah,
man.
you guys are pro athletes in this space, bro.
Knowing the limits,
Bro, I was with my boys. We sparked one. We went to In-N-Out. Bro, we were there for 2 hours, like forever. We got home. It was 13 minutes later, bro. I was like, I was in a wormhole, bro.
2 hours was 13 minutes.
Yeah, bro. I was in a wormhole, man.
Do you have a favorite? Is that your munchie? Like In-N-Out? Like
I love In-N-Out. But you know what though? I like seafood. My whole family's from Louisiana, so I like shrimp and like lobster and crawfish and like, you know what I'm saying, like crab cakes, all that kind of stuff. So I'll just tell a girl like, yo, you need to come over to my house and cook. We're gonna stay in.
We're gonna get high.
There you go. Pour some champagne up. There you go. Yeah.
And I want seafood.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a bad choice though.
What's your favorite food?
Ah, man, that's hard, man. Because I'm a foodie, man. I have a food show called High and Hungry, so I get to wander around and try different shit, man. But I'm always gonna be an all-American steak guy, man. Like I can never give that up. I try to like limit my red meat intake, but when I do, it's like, man, I can't help like a good steak with that blue cheese crusted on top.
Oh
my
great.
God,
That's great. Yeah. Wait, so you eat meat or no?
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for you. People get, you have to get high quality meat. You can't
Yeah.
get like
You can't
barf.
be cheap
That's the truth.
with it. You know,
You have to
Yeah.
invest in good meat, but it's good for you. It has the right amino acids and the right proteins that, really nourish your body.
When I do, I'll go to this Brazilian spot called Fogo de Chao.
Oh, it's the best.
That's
Dude. Oh,
one of the-
Chascaria style is the best.
you ever been to Pacific Dining Cart?
It's ridiculous.
Well, where's that at?
It's literally on 6th Street, and it's open 24-hour across from Good Samaritan Hospital. That's probably my favorite steakhouse.
Really?
And do you remember Training
It's
Day?
old school.
Yeah.
When he
I know the name. As soon as you said the name, I knew. I was like,
it's
what's
that restaurant where Denzel goes and he tells him, go get a baseball steak,
With
and
the
he's talking
four
to the
kings
cows.
or the three kings.
Yeah.
That's it's like that spot is like a dope steakhouse in a lot of movies and a lot of
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
But the food's actually really good there,
Yeah.
bro.
It's
Like
a historic spot, but it's like the food is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
I was talking to some lady who's from LA, and she was talking about pans back in the day that was on La Tijera.
Yeah.
And like how many movies have been shot in that freaking, like the Pepsi commercial with Cardi B was in that same pans. The movie Heat, when Robert De Niro and Al Pacino were sitting across the booth from each other,
Yeah.
talking, that's in pans. Like that's like
Yeah.
one of those restaurants
that's
that's been
what-
like in every movie, yo.
I mean, being from Crenshaw, like, growing up there,
Yeah.
like I feel that you have to grow up to have that like hood favorite foodie spot. Do you have one like that? Because I figured, I was like, come on, man. I was like, everybody will have like their Tam's Burgers or something like that.
I
Like,
got one. It's on Vernon and 7th Ave. It's called A1 Burger.
yeah, I've been there. But yeah, that shit is. Oh my god, yeah, that shit is good,
That is
bro.
the most.
There's
fucking-
always a line there, bro.
Always a line.
Always, yeah, there is.
always a line.
Didn't you do a thing on that one?
No, I haven't. Now that he brings it up, though, I had to ask him because I'm like, we are looking for new spots to
A1
review.
A1 Burger on Vernon and 7th Ave. Yep, that's my
Yeah.
spot.
I mean, you keep fit for a lot of different things. Obviously for yourself, for health, and obviously you want to be fit for the roles you play.
Right.
What type of diet you on right now?
So I eat like colorful foods. So everybody who knows me knows I have this thing called Highway Fit, and it's like trying to make health really accessible for people who don't know health. So there's like the people who are all about fitness in the gym and stuff, and there's like the rest of us. And it's like, yo, just give me something simple. Just give me something simple that I can do. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, it's the same thing. So me and a doctor got together and created this low intensity workout. There's no weights and no gym and no travel. So you ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to have no weights. You ain't got no equipment. It's just you and the floor.
Movement in your own body weight.
There you go. Right. And it's low. It's not a lot of jumping around. People don't like doing like jumping jacks and all this other shit. It's like,
It's a lot of impact on the knees and back.
yeah, we don't. So we don't. We went against that whole grain. Just did our own thing, and it's medically sound, physician endorsed, and accessible for all. And then it's the food that we eat associated with this is colorful foods. I don't eat anything like brown, white, or black. I only eat foods that are like rich in color, like naturally, like red and
dragon fruit
orange.
colored food.
Yeah, red, orange, yellow, green, purple. That's like you know what I'm saying. So
Damn, I never heard of. This is all new, but like the color, I didn't know the color really had a lot to do with it.
yeah, because a lot of times you eat things that are white, it's like inflammation.
Right. Like the rice, the starch. in the
Exactly.
rice. That's why I
Cauliflower.
teach you to eat or tell you to eat brown rice. It's healthier, but still, you could be allergic to that.
But it's in not only that, like, what rice is holding water. It is inflammation. Like you put rice in a pot, you pour water in there, it sucks all the water up, and it's like,
And
and that's exactly what it does inside of you. You know what I'm saying?
floats out.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm
Like pasta.
exactly right. So we're like, how do we make this really simple for everybody? I'm like, just eat the colors of the rainbow. That's it, and then you'll be straight. So instead of
Get
eating
all
the
the
rice, I
spectrums.
eat the spinach. Wherever I would have put the rice, I put the spinach. You know what I mean, or like the kale.
Substituting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you can go to like one of these big box stores and get like a big ass bag of like 4 pounds of spinach for like $4.
Yeah, there's a lot of colorful food that people don't notice at like grocery stores and shit. Like now that you're putting it in that perspective, I'm going there like, you know what?
The reality is that in some places, especially places like they were just talking about on the news the other day that Jordan Downs just got a real market over there with all these products.
Yep.
Some of those places don't have a good market with those types of foods or fresh food even.
All they got is Frito Lay's, bro. You know
for
what I'm saying?
miles, and they can't afford to get there to them, and then the prices might be, slightly fucked,
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's hard to get in other words. But like, you got to go out and get it because that's an investment in yourself.
And not only that, you know what I'm saying? They always say like your money is your vote, right? So like I know where I grew up and like I had bad food all the time. That's all my parents bought. You know what I'm saying? But like you could find one of these like whether it's like a big supermarket store or whatever, and you could ask them for like, can I get a big bag of spinach? And like even if it's just a Costco card, you know what I'm saying? Like you can go to Costco and get big bags of spinach that'll last you mad servings for $4. We play a game at Costco. I mean, my friends like go in there $20, see how much stuff you can get. You can get a lot of stuff for $20 at Costco.
Especially vegetables.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Especially vegetables.
There you go.
You want to drink celery juice, baby? You go to fucking Costco.
But you gotta do it sometimes for your health. You know?
That's very true.
Matter of fact, I got to go pay a visit. Oh, shit, man.
So I was noticing you've done a lot of television as well. Like you were on the Jamie Foxx show.
Jamie, what up, Jamie? Jamie got a movie coming out. What today? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He balls, too.
Jamie balls. Yeah, I play hoop with Jamie.
Yeah, he used to. I don't know if he does still, but he used to throw shit on his at the crib on the weekends and invite people to ball out.
All the right people. Yeah, it was very entertaining.
Who did you play with down there that had?
I play with everybody because not only like Jamie, but I play with Snoop. I play with Timberlake. I play with everybody. We had this thing called the NBA Entertainment League.
I remember hearing about that.
There you go. And it was just all just celebrities from every walk of life, like in one basketball league, and they all had like real NBA jerseys. That was like the thing. So I played with every single person that's played. If you hoop and you're an entertainer, like Brian McKnight hoops, I play with Brian. I play with, you know what I mean, I play with everybody.
That's no longer going down the league.
It kind of like dismantled a little bit, just because at certain times like the entertainment business and the NBA used to have a very close relationship, and like people in the entertainment business aren't really like athletes anymore. Like you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's changed. It's the influencer type thing. Everything's kind of you know what I mean? Like reality stars is different. Right. So they kind of lost ties, you know. But hopefully it'll come back. You know.
What were you gonna say, C?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask about like do you prefer one or the other as far as filmmaking as opposed to television, or do you love them both the same?
I love them both the same. I love every single. I just like being on set. Like I just like being at work. Like I have a joy for like doing something in my life, like applying myself. Like reaching my potentials. Just being on set to me is just like the greatest thing ever. I never even watched one of my movies. I ain't never seen Coach Carter. I've never seen anything I've ever done.
Wow.
But I still love it because I love it because of what the experience I had when I was making it.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying in that form. Like you don't want to watch what you do. You just want to do it. Because there's been times where I'll put down a track and I don't hear it until I hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And people say, "Hey, do you remember when you did this one?" Nope. And then I'll hear it and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, I remember this session."
Sinatra would do that all the time. Sinatra would go in the studio and lay down one take, and that was it.
And disconnect.
There you go.
Until he had to make it play at one time.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's shit. Speaking of music, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
I listen to everything, man. And I grew up on your stuff. I mean,
thank you.
I did my homework to your stuff, man. I was just sitting there.
Some very.
I need So I was a young person that needed noise in my life. So like in my room, I had big speakers, and I played music all the time. Like,
did you fall asleep to music?
Yep, I did. I can't sleep without music. Like so I listened to all your guys' stuff. I mean, obviously like Dub C, like that was like it was it that time.
Right.
And then, I went to a middle school that had kids who listened to Kurt Cobain. So that's how I learned about, people like Kurt Cobain and stuff like that.
Nirvana, nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I was at Johns Hopkins and they had their whole thing they listened to. So I have a real eclectic sense of music, cool. And music, if it has a soul, like you're good. You know what I mean? Like I listen to Arabic music, I listen to everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I believe that, because there was a time where I pretty much only listened to hip hop.
Yeah.
But before that, you know, I would listen to a little bit of everything because I grew up listening to everything, you know, from my father and mother listening to the different shit they listened to.
Right.
And, you know, some of my brothers and sisters and even cousins, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had a different musical flavor, right? So I sort of listened to everything growing up. And then there was a time it was all about just hip hop.
Yeah, for sure.
But in that time, that's when we were making hip hop.
Yep, absolutely.
And some of those influences just sort of came out in that time. You know what I mean? Just naturally. Not knowing that, you know, those were influences from that shit we were listening to that we shut out. And then, you know, we realized it and then started listening to everything again. And I think it kind of broadened our horizon as to listening.
But you
to
know,
shit.
like Korn's influenced by you, like you know that. Like when Korn came out, like at that time, we were like, oh, that's, maybe listening to you guys. You know what I mean? And you know, like I'm in the house, and you know, our lady who works on our house and cleans our house, whatever, she's like in there, and she's playing her music, and it's Romeo Santos, and I'm like listening to this all the time. I know who I'm listening to. I'm like, who is this? She's like,
so you know bachata too?
I love it. So I listen to everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just opens you up more because I think music is in any form, even in the electronic world of
EDM,
it. You know, it's about colors.
Yep.
And colors helps a mind develop, I think.
Visual.
You know?
Absolutely. You know, you know, there was a time when Vegas was real Vegas. And no camera was in Vegas. Everybody had, like, you know what I'm saying? There was no camera phone, so Vegas was Vegas. And I'll be in Vegas with all my friends who were either athletes or, you know, girls who worked or, you know what I mean? And they're like, let's go to the club and stay out all night. And it would be the Diplos and whoever else that was the EDM stuff that would be keeping us out till 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when I got on that vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like heavy in the EDM stuff too.
You go to the festivals and shit?
I go to the ones that still have like that, you know what I mean? That
You
spine,
mentioned
that
Vegas, so
spine,
you-
that spine in it, you know?
You go to the EDC in Vegas?
I went to all the early ones, like when EDC first was popping off in Vegas, like Pasquale was running that and all those guys. Like I was going to all the early ones. But, you know, when I think sometimes these festivals can get a little bit diluted because so much of our media today is about like instantaneous pictures, instantaneous gratification. So like people are not even going there to worry about the music. It's like, I just want to get a photo in front of the Ferris wheel with the lights. I mean, like they're going there for the Instagram photo.
And it's corporatized, right?
Yeah, or the TikTok stuff. And like, I like to go where like my crew, we're going to listen to music. We're going to vibe out, have a good time, pop something, have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
Hell
go,
yeah.
go ahead, you know what I mean? Like, I like that, getting the vibe. So when I feel like a festival gets a little bit too like diluted, I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what you go for, right? When you go to a festival, it is about a vibe. It's about, you know, like fucking taking 5, 6, 10, 20 blunts with you or whatever.
Right. So we can
Joints for me.
Right.
And vibing out, man, going on the journey on each stage. I mean, you know, to go to a festival for one band, that would be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go to like, you know, absorb everything that's there.
It's
Like
an
the
experience.
The last great experience that I had, like, and when Coachella wasn't as what it is, but it was on a Saturday where I got to see Kraftwerk, then Portishead, then Prince.
Damn.
That's great.
So just like imagine, just like you, all three of those are have some of your favorite songs or have something that you've definitely like had a great time. And you're with your friends, and you're like, oh yeah, and you got just a few joints on you, and you're like, yeah, that's a festival to me.
Yes.
I love it.
But, you know,
You ever seen Prince?
yeah, I seen him once, but I got kicked out halfway. I'll tell you that. So we, you know, our crew used to run with another crew. Like it was a couple of crews running together, right? And one of the crews had these fake passes to this.
That's great.
To the Coliseum where Prince was playing.
Nice.
It was probably like 85, 86 or something, man. I was a young buck in the game. And, you know, like maybe 5 of us had gotten these fake passes.
Yep.
And
They worked too.
they worked until we abused it and they didn't work, right? So we got close to the stage. We were like fucking right there. We're chilling. And the homie I was with wanted to push the line. Everybody else was kind of, we were all kind of spread out so that we didn't look too obvious that we weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
All right, so I guess go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
Prince's security, the guy they call Big John or whatever his name is.
Yeah, big chick.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Big chick.
He looked at our passes and threw us the fuck out. Bro. Oh, we waited outside of the parking lot for the homies to come back out of the concert.
So listen, like I said, when you're a bad kid, you get in trouble. You start figuring out clever shit. So what we would do is like if a big show is coming, like a big show, we get one of our friends to go work the show, like go get a job there.
Yep. That's a good plan.
So we would get one person to go get a job there and like get the best like job that has the best pass. Like, they got a color code. So like make sure you get the right bat.
The one with the best access.
So we got the stage crew pass.
Damn.
We would bring it home, unlaminated, go to Kinko's, scan them up like 30 times,
And
get
then
all new
laminate.
laminates, re-laminate, and get lanyards.
Yeah.
So then all of us would have stage crew passes, and we go on stage. And bro, I was in Dallas at Lights All Night and saw Avicii, Cascade, and Diplo standing in the DJ booth with them.
See that now that's a plan.
That's a plan.
That's a well thought out plan.
Oh,
Yeah. Shit, I wish we had that.
Yeah.
And working fucking Yellow Jacket security right there that night, man.
I tried laminating passes to a thing, and then the Kinko's person was like, "I'm gonna call the cops."
Oh man, no.
And let me ask you this. I mean, you grew up here. What was the craziest, concert you ever been to here in Cali? Growing up listening to all this stuff.
there was a concert that was out in Anaheim. I can't think of the name. You caught me on the spot. I can't think of the name of it. It wasn't called Ultra. It was called, damn it, I can't think. But
Audiotistic?
it was Audiotistic. Bro, that shit was Audiotistic.
man.
That's a festival.
Yeah, that was it.
That was like you came there and just unleashed who you were. But I've been to festivals in the middle of the desert in Jordan.
Crazy.
I've been to festivals in Russia. I've been to festivals all over, bro. I can see.
You were seasoned for that.
Oh man, I love it.
Sure.
The shit.
The shit. But Audiotistic was great. Audiotistic was outstanding. That was like, have you been Audiotistic? No. You know
That's
what that is?
one I didn't go to because every time they were throwing it, I was overseas doing other festivals. But that was one I've never been to.
To me, Audiotistic, exactly, Outcast. To me, Audiotistic felt to me like the mixing of all like races and cultures. Like when it was still kind of like your mom and dad was like, don't hang out with that person. They're like a different race
Yeah.
or not as like.
Yeah.
It was like a bridge.
Yeah, that was like Audiotistic was like, Outcast is there and there's like everybody. You got Rice Rockets out in the parking lot and they got biker boys and just Jewish girls walking. Like everybody was there.
That was the fucking party.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah,
No, I
Audiotistic.
remember hearing a lot of shit about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I always miss it?
I spun that year that Outcast, me, Z Trip, Chalk, Jay, I think a lot of us spun that
Yeah.
in between the bands and
Yo,
all the acts
yeah.
and shit. It was cool.
What about you? What's the best festival you played?
The best festival we played, there's two, all right? I mean, we played a lot of great festivals.
Yeah.
But I played one with one band and one with another
Yep.
band, right? And so the one with Cypress Hill, that would be Woodstock because that was like close to 500,000 people. Right. Like 348,000 people, 400,000 people. And that was fucking nuts. That's
Yeah.
there was a lot of shows that were great, but I mean the magnitude of that in the US was crazy. It was like watching the ocean just
It's so
fucking
much
rock.
energy's coming to you, right?
Yeah, and they were rocking to our music, and it was like the majority of people were rocking to our shit. I'd never seen anything like it up to that.
Yeah,
up to
right.
that point. And after that, we've rocked a lot of shows. Nothing quite as big as that until I started rocking with Prophets of Rage,
Yep.
right? And when we rocked that one, just maybe a year and a half ago, or maybe a year ago, we were in Europe, and our first festival for that particular tour, we were doing something I think in Sweden or Switzerland or somewhere, maybe Norway.
Right, up in Nordic.
Where was it?
750,000 people.
Well, I didn't ask you that. I asked you the city, son.
Answer the question.
Austria. I think we were in Austria.
Austria.
So for that crowd, it was this festival of 750,000 people
Jesus.
that we rocked for. And that was crazy because it was like people for as far as you could see, bro. It was like
I know what that is, dude. I've seen 3 million people on a beach before. It's insane.
Damn,
it made me feel
3 million.
It made me feel like I was on psychedelics because I have been on stage.
Were you Be Real?
No, I wasn't, but it made me feel like it. But I've been on stage with psychedelics, right? You know, rocking a mass of people. And when I saw that shit sober, that's what it felt like because you see all these people in different motions. Because not everybody's always on the same rhythm, you know, and that shit is one of the trippiest things I've seen. That that crowd, 750,000 people.
I've seen a lot of great. I've seen Wyclef Jean perform. You ever seen Wyclef? Wyclef is a rock star, bro. That motherfucker's out there just hitting it. I've seen him. I like Aoki. I saw Aoki at Shrine with a bunch of kids from USC.
And cake around.
Oh, but he blew it out, bro. The whole building was like, you know what I mean? And I went to Belgium. I went to Tomorrowland, which was insane too.
Belgium's a great place.
Yeah, Belgium's a great place.
Got to have the chocolate waffle there. Dark chocolate waffle.
There you go.
Awesome. Warm that shit up. You know, hey, we made a thing with those waffles one time. We were like, when I think it was when we were first fucking with Facebook, we were like, we're on the hunt for the weed waffles. And there was no such thing. We were just talking shit. And while we were on stage somewhere, someone fucking threw a weeded out waffle on stage.
That's great. That's great. They're out there listening.
Love Belgium. Salute to Belgium.
Salute.
We'll be there soon. Word up. Hey, man, I want to thank you for fucking taking the time.
Love you, bro. Thank you, guys.
You got to come back and tell us some more
fun,
stories.
Absolutely. More war stories, man.
Word up.
I'm 37 years old. 37, bro. I've been living life.
Hell yeah. And working.
Working. There
And
you go.
steady working, man.
Shout out to you guys, world. Love you guys. God bless. It's Robert Ri'chard.
Let them know where they can find you.
If you see me in the street, come up to me, give me a hug. I take pictures. I kiss babies. You know what I'm saying? And on every platform, I'm the Robert Ri'chard. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The Robert Ri'chard. I love y'all. God bless.
Word up. This has been Dr. Greenthumb Podcast 1 for 2020. D-Zone.
Yo, shout out to everybody. Make sure you check out the new High and Hungry that is going up on BREALTV on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, add a thumbs up. For all the High and Hungry merch that is continuously selling out, go to highandhungry.shop or flavorsbyezone.com and stand up Boyle Heights on the 17th and the 25th at the Love Song in Hollywood. So,
C.
Yeah, C-. You can find me at C-Fan4 on all the social networks and also Motown on Mondays, Shortstop in Echo Park, and DJC-.com coming real soon.
Word up. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. BRealTV. Stay smoking. And thank you very much for watching and listening. One.
What's going on, world? I'm Robert Ri'chard, and you're watching Be Real TV.